soccer development?
Yeah, I think the financial part of it for a lot of people, they're not maybe as prepared or aware of what truly comes with everything when you play at a club level, regardless of the club, because you have club fees, uniform costs, referee fees for tournaments, maybe travel costs. It's not just a blanket, one-time fee. It's kind of like it is really though like an investment in terms of depending on how far you want to go. And I think at what point in time for you did it become known to yourself, then also to your family, that you wanted to go as far as you could with the game?
Um, Yeah, I don't think there was like a clear like moment for me with that. It was
Mm-hmm.
just kind of the next step for me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people that like saw potential in me. And honestly, like I said, I just love the game. So I was like, okay, anything that's gonna get me to play soccer longer. And I'm like, okay, so that means college here in the US. So that I guess when I started thinking about college, which was probably like the end of my freshman year of high school, that was when I was more like, okay, I should probably be going to like more showcases and things like that. But even before I had college on my radar, I always wanted to get better. Soccer was also like my escape growing up. And so I was like obsessed and spent like so many hours at the field. And I think that obviously helped with my improvement, like physically, because like I started the game later. And so my technical abilities were always more behind. And I relied on my like speed much more than the average soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I was just playing a little bit of catch up. But I knew I wanted to play in college. So I put in the work.
I think, yeah, what's great with what you just said, it's like you really were just obsessed with the game, which is why I wasn't surprised that you ended up going to where you wanted to go in terms of like a certain level for college. Talk to me a little bit about, you kind of mentioned like you always felt like you were playing catch up. So when you started to go to showcases and started to display your talents, what were you thinking? Were you thinking I could, go to this school because I fit in completely, or did you have a little bit of also a little bit of a doubt, like, like I gotta also work on this though if I really want to be impactful when I get there?
Um, I knew I was going to college. For me, it was just the level that I wanted to play at. So that's when like started probably like I don't know sophomore junior year. I knew I wanted to play Division One. So
Mm,
at that point, I knew I needed to be on a certain team to get that exposure because the Division One coaches aren't going to be going to the B team's games in the club.
mm,
So that's another part of my story is I did not make the top team of my age group in my club until my senior year. So my junior, sophomore year, I played up an age group just because that team needed more players and I had a better relationship with that coach. And so I had to work really hard to make the top team in my club, but I still got that exposure because I played an age group up that year before. Um, but yeah.
So you pretty much knew you had to do certain things to align yourself to put yourself in a position. So you knew eventually you had to make an A team because that team was going to get exposed. And then the only option you had was to play up, or that was an option. And so that option worked out. But I think what's also great though is that because you played on a B team for so long, you played probably almost every minute unless there was an injury or you got hurt or something was going on. So you developed a lot by playing on the B team, which then eventually led you to put yourself in a position once you got to the A team to not just make the A team, but to, show that you deserve to be on the field and to impact. So I think those who are listening, it's like if you don't make the A team right away, but if you truly love the game, you're just going to keep playing. Like you're just going to do whatever you have to do. And you would train at other coaches' training sessions. I remember that clear as day. I remember looking over and being like, is that King? I'm like, I wasn't even surprised. I was more just like acknowledging to myself, like, man, this player is just obsessed. So